In this video, you're going to look at from a non-CDB perspective and looking at a CDB perspective, how are things different? So let's start with the architectural review we did earlier. This is how a non-CDB traditional database of Oracle looked like, where for a single database, you have a single instance with a collection of different types of files, including the parameter file and trace file alert log in the ADR. So given this as the context, now let us look at what happens in a multi-tenant CDB setup. To begin with, we have already seen that within a CDB, you get a root along with a seed, which is in read-only mode with the single purpose of being a template to create new PDBs, and pluggable databases that you have created together, and the entire CDB shares a single instance. And going forward, we will take the example of having two PDBs along with seed and root so that we have space in the diagram to keep the various files for reference. So I've removed the additional PDBs that were there, and the entire CDB is called as the system container. Each PDB, root or system or seed are called as the container individually. The root, seed or any other PDB are called as containers. That is why it is a container database with a collection of containers. You can consider it like it is inspired from the Docker container perspective. Thus, a container database, a CDB, has a set of containers, one root, one seed, and then multiple PDBs. The root is called as the root container. The root in the CDB does not contain any user or application created data. You cannot create any of your application users in them. And the root has the metadata required to manage the PDBs individually. When you create PDBs within the container database, each PDB has to have a unique name within the CDB. So two PDBs cannot be with the same name within a given container database. And as a result, it is a single namespace within the given container database as such. Next, the names of the following containers cannot conflict. The root, any PDB that you can plug in from another container database. You have the ability to move PDBs by plugging them out and plugging them in, or application roots or application PDBs. None of them can have conflicting names. Then the namespace for objects that are created are scoped within a PDB, which means within a PDB, two table spaces cannot have the same name, two users cannot have the same name, two uh, tables that you create within a given user cannot have the same name. And from an application perspective, using and connecting to a non-CDB or to a PDB is the same. The way the application behaves, there is no difference at all. It just works with the same syntax. All names of objects such as users, tables, table spaces, indexes, functions have to be unique within the PDB, like how it would have been within a non-CDB setup. So you can consider from the naming perspective, each PDB is similar to a non-CDB perspective. Table space names, users, tables within users all have to be unique. And there is a concept of common users. Such common users are created in the root and they are also replicated and kept in the PDBs. Both users and roles have a special type called common. We will look at it in a different video. Thus, every container database has a root along with seed plus additional PDBs that you create. Each one of them get their own system table space. The specialty is the Oracle supplied code base sits only inside the system table space, whereas any user created, application created objects will be kept in the respective system table space of the PDB in which they are created. And the root contains the Oracle supplied code and the metadata definitions. Application created objects, their metadata is kept in the system table space of the PDB. And the PDBs refer to the root for the Oracle supplied code. So which means the Oracle supplied code is not duplicated in every system table space within the CDB. Every container, including the PDB, root, as well as the seed, have a sysaux table space to keep track of performance data like AWR that is applicable. And every PDB might have multiple table spaces created. The naming convention has to be unique within a PDB. Another PDB can have the same table space name as another PDB. And this is where the data for your tables are stored. Now that's the table space architecture. Read logs are at the entire CDB level. You don't have read log groups individual to the PDB. Redo groups are at the CDB level. So the redo is common to all the changes that is happening within the container database. Then you could have undo table spaces. There are two ways in which undo could be used. First is local undo, another is shared undo. Originally, shared undo was only available. Then Oracle brought about the idea about local undo. If you use local undo, it gives you the ability to create hot cloning and faster replication. So what is the difference? If you use shared undo mode, there is one undo table space in the CDB which is used by all the containers within that CDB. Whereas if you configure to use local undo mode, then each PDB will have its own local undo table space which will be used by the respective PDB, and only root will use the undo table space at the CDB level. Thus, that is the difference between local and shared undo in the container database. Every container database, when you create, gets a default temporary table space at the CDB level. Plus, you can create your own additional temporary table spaces in each pluggable database and use them independent of each other within each PDB. The parameter file is again at a CDB level, the P file or SP file, because there is a single instance for the entire CDB considering a single node setup. There are some parameters that can be set specific to PDBs. They are only very special parameters. You can look into the documentation, but instance specific parameters are global. It is not PDB specific because the instance is shared by all the PDBs. And lastly, coming to the diagnostic data, the entire CDB has a single ADR for the alert, trace files, log files, etc. Each PDB doesn't have its own diagnostic destination. Everything is within the CDB itself. So these are the most important architectural perspective that I wanted you to know about. Of course, there is a lot many more features. Whenever I get time, I will put in more videos for them. I hope you got a good understanding about comparing the traditional non-CDB architecture and CDB architecture. But finally, when an application connects, it connects to a particular PDB as a user, and what it does there is irrelevant whether you are connecting to a PDB or non-CDB. The code still remains the same because you are accessing the schema within that PDB. Thank you, everybody. Wish you all the best. And when I get time, I will put further videos on this topic. Thank you.